All right, have and have not fans, and this is wow, a video that is about, I'd say, a couple weeks late, or either I forgot to do it. Look, I'm thankful the holidays are over, but even though Christmas is done, it's the whirlwind of not knowing what day of the week it is. Then New Year, well, New Year's isn't too big of a deal, and it's just another day. I mean, true, a lot of people got the day off, but I'm glad the craziness of the holiday season is done, and the next big event, so to speak, isn't Valentine's Day or whatever. It's really about, getting everything together for tax time. So hopefully, that's going to go well. But this video itself is something that, again, all seriousness, I did mean to do a couple weeks ago. It's about, whether or not Jim and Veronica have had sex, and I have to be very careful how I title the video to avoid demonetization. But really, this goes back to season 1, episode 4, entering the race. And once again, that's why I did like about the Back to the Start marathon. It really reignited a flame underneath the fans who have either, forgotten about early seasons of the haves and the have-nots, or they just didn't get into the show until maybe season 3 and beyond. So I had a lot of people who have told me, like, yeah, I went back and saw those episodes. It was so different back then. And, a lot of dialogue about stuff that's foreshadowed or stuff that's been changed. And one particular scene is during episode 4, entering the race. This is after, David and Jim had announced they were running for governor, lieutenant governor. And, this was back during, hey, I want $100,000 and a red convertible. Those were the terms of Candace's, hey, you give me this stuff, I won't go to Rose, who's like a news reporter, and talk about how Judge Jim Cryer has been dealing with prostitutes. So with that being said, David is pretty much, stepping in. This is when David, his voice was kind of different. Like, I feel like they were really trying to find their characters on the show. And I didn't mind his voice in these episodes. It was just pretty interesting how it wasn't as, Jim, I told Candace about I told the criminal. It was like I feel like his voice here was a bit higher than it was. But in any case, the scene itself, what really got people talking is the fact that, Candace said to David that Amanda tells me everything, all the family secrets. And apparently, on your 40th birthday, referring to David, he was passed out drunk. And during him, being knocked out from drinking, Jim and Veronica had sex. But then David shut it down by saying, first of all, you need to get your facts straight. Jim didn't know my wife on my 40th birthday, and I never had a drink in my life. It was worth a try. So basically, Candace admitted to what she just said to being fake, which obviously, if you started from episode 1 to got to episode 4, you knew up to that point she was a compulsive liar and pretty much was like a queen of manipulation. So her trying to get under David's skin was to make him make a mistake. So yeah, a lot of things don't line up with that. Think about it this way. David and, well, we know that David already had his 50th birthday, so he's over the age of 50. Jim just had his 50th birthday in episode 1. And no, I am not trying to go back to that video I did a while ago about character ages. That was a one and done it kind of situation. But I think it's safe to say that if memory serves right, Amanda, Wyatt, Jeffrey, I'm just talking about those 3, all of them have to be in their 20s. So if you do the math, let's just assume for simplicity's sake that David's 40th birthday was either 10 or 11 years ago. Let's just say that. Now, that would mean if Jim didn't know Veronica when David was 40, that means that Jim, David, Catherine, and Veronica didn't meet until maybe less than 10 years ago. I am not sure about that. I do know that David did say he met Veronica in law school. I do remember that. He told that to Maggie Day. I don't remember if he met Jim in law school. I think he did, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But I feel that, those two probably met, on the bench, so to speak, both being judges and whatnot. And then, Veronica and Catherine being quote unquote friends by association. It's like, oh, your husband knows my husband, and then Veronica saw that as an opportunity to build up her social presence by being seen with Catherine Cryer. So the fact that, you know, it's been stated multiple times that, you know, Wyatt and Jeffrey have been friends since they were kids, I don't think that means to them just being 12 and 13-year-olds. I was under the assumption that these two, if not, you know, including Amanda, have been friends since, you know, maybe they're, you know, young, you know, 4, 7, 8, 10 preteen years, not just when they were, you know, high schoolers to college age adults. So yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me. But keep in mind, this was episode 4 of season 1, so a lot of things have been retconned. But let's just put it this way. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, this does mean that 40 years old, meaning that, oh, Jim didn't even know Veronica by the time, you know, I was 40. That means that, you know, with Jeffrey obviously being in his 20s, because his age was mentioned in a recent episode, I forgot, 27, 24, I forgot. That means that Jim is most likely not Jeffrey's father. You could also chalk it up as like, well, Jim got around, Jim got around a lot in his, you know, marriage to Catherine, so it is possible that maybe, you know, Jim and Veronica had sex at one time. That is a possibility. And this could have occurred before David knew Jim, or by the time, or before David knew that Jim knew Veronica. So that's another possibility. So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. But I am willing to accept the fact that these two probably never had sex. So I would say that, let me just put it this way. In terms of the 40th birthday scenario that Candace brought up, I don't think that is true, because she obviously said it was worth a try, as in it was a lie. But have Veronica and Jim had sex before? It would not surprise me if they didn't. I just said that, you know, I don't think they did, but it would not be a surprise to me at all if Jim and Veronica had sex at least one time. But I do feel like Jim is not Jeffrey's father. I do feel like it is not Jim. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because another piece of evidence is the whole, I've never had, hang on, I can't even read my notes. I never had a drink in my life. That's a lie. That was retcon towards the end of season 2 when Maggie said that David looked like he could use a drink at the Sarandon Hotel. And he was like, you know, well, I haven't had a drink in years, you know, for Veronica's sake, because she was in rehab and, you know, was pretty much, you know, going cold turkey on alcohol herself. So that's why David hasn't had a drink in respect to her. Not to mention he would know that having alcohol in the house would do nothing but, you know, present temptation to Veronica. So yeah, didn't happen, at least not on his 40th birthday. I don't think Jim is the father, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And once again, if you haven't done so already, you know, Hulu has all the episodes up for people to watch. So if you enjoyed the Back to the Start marathon, but you still want to watch like season 2 and beyond, Hulu is the place to go. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.